tal? Aquí Julio Monroy desde Delta Records. Hoy tenemos un gran invitado que nos acompaña acá desde Estados Unidos. Fue expresidente de AES y bueno, recuerden que este live va a estar todo en inglés, pero tenemos subtítulos en español. Hi John, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thank
I'm
you for having me.
Thank you, my friend, for stay here, and we are so happy to have you here in Delta.
Well, it's very nice to be at Delta Studios, Delta Records, and it's been wonderful being in Colombia this past week.
It's amazing, man. And we have we're with David Seeker. How are you, David?
Hi everyone, how are you? Welcome to this new episode of Producing with Julio Monroy. John, it's a huge honor to have you here. Thank you a lot for being here with us. And well, remember for the people watching, if you have any questions, you can leave them on the comment section and I will communicate the questions to both Julio and John. So I leave you with the conversation.
Thank you, David. Well, John, we only have one mandatory question
Yeah.
in this live stream, and can you tell us more about how did you begin in the audio and music industry?
Well, that's a great question. I'm trying to remember the answer. Uh, I was kind of a shy kid, uh, and I wanted to be in a rock band. So I learned how to play guitar, and I started a rock band with some great friends. And then I heard about multi track recording. And I talked to a kid who was 2 years older than me, and he said, you should get this book called Home Recording for Musicians by Craig Anderton. And I ran out and I got this book and I read it, and it was very life changing. I was always really consumed with the idea that you could put sound on sound and do multi track recording. That might be uh, seem like a simple thing for younger people who might be watching this, but the truth is, uh, it was pretty novel to be able to do that, and I have always been really interested in making recordings.
Wow, and then a few years later, you meet Craig Anderton.
Well, that's right. I was fortunate enough to serve as the president of the International Audio Engineering Society. And one of the great things about being a member of AES is that you get to meet all kinds of people. So, Craig Anderton is an amazing author and has written so many great books and commented about where the audio industry is going. And it's been wonderful getting to see him and meet him at all different types of events.
Oh, that's great. So you were president of the AES. Can you tell me more about how did that happen?
Well, I was kind of the junior faculty at a school in Boston, and uh, my department director said, "John, we're going to start an AES student chapter, a student section, and you're going to run it. You're going to be the faculty advisor to it." And I thought, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing that ever happened to me. This is an organization, the AES, the Audio Engineering Society, with a peer-reviewed journal, with standards committees and technical committees. It puts on events all over the world." And I thought, people are going to realize that I don't know enough about audio, and I'm going to be laughed out of the business. Um, but what was really interesting is I realized that the most important characteristic, I think, is curiosity. And so I was just very curious
Yeah.
about audio, and I invited all kinds of people to meet with students, people who were doing really interesting things. So the first person I invited was my friend Don Palouse, who was the audio
Okay.
engineer for Sly and the Family Stone in Chicago, and made all
Wow.
kinds of amazing records. And we talked about his career. I had someone come and we made wax cylinder
Yeah.
recordings and
Yeah.
tinfoil recordings. I had a special agent from the FBI, and we talked about forensic audio and surveillance, um, and just all kinds of things. And it was a really exciting place for
Hmm.
people to discover about audio and
Yeah.
ask questions about audio. Um, I was invited to be part of the AES Education Committee. And then I was invited to be a vice chair of the AES Education Committee.
Okay.
And then I was asked if I would run for president of AES. And I did. And I won an election where I beat a more qualified person from
Wow.
Australia.
That's amazing.
And I became the president in the years 2015 and 2016. And it was just wonderful meeting people from all around the world with a similar interest.
That's great. So, do you think AES changed the life of the people?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the greatest thing, the best thing I ever did for my career was become a member of the Audio Engineering Society. So I went around the world, I met all kinds of people. Um, and AES is just a fabulous community of like minded people who are interested in audio.
Yeah. Well, it changed my life too,
Mhm.
because I like 2 years ago I met you at the AES in New York.
That's right.
Yeah, and you gave me a card,
Hmm.
and we began to chat and
Yeah.
talk, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
So
Well, I remember I was helping Avid with a reception that they were having at Jungle City Studios,
yeah,
and a mutual friend of ours, Marcela Zorro, a
Marcela.
professor at
Yeah,
University of the Andes, asked, would you mind if I bring my friend Julio Monroy? I said, that would be great. And we've been great friends ever since.
yeah, it has been an amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, John, there's an event that is going to happen in a few weeks,
Hmm.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. 2 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, 2 weeks
That's
left,
right.
and that's a Pan American
That's
Audio
right.
Educators
So,
Conference.
so there's, I think my favorite audio event in the world is the Soundcheck Expo in
Yeah,
Mexico City. I know you've had Jorge Urbano here on your show. Jorge is the most incredible man. He is the kind of all the amazing, kind people in Mexico, he
mm-hmm.
is the best. And Jorge has put on for 20 years the Soundcheck Expo. It's incredible. When they begin this, they have all the pageantry and they march all the important people up and down the aisles of
Yeah,
the trade show with a huge mariachi band.
yeah, I remember that.
And I have been going for a long time. A few years ago, I brought my friend Toby Scott, and
Hmm.
he brought his multi-tracks for Bruce Springsteen,
Wow,
and people were really excited about that. And then the next year, I brought some other friends, Ed Stasium,
hmm,
who brought his multi-tracks for the Ramones, Talking Heads, Gladys
amazing.
Knight and the
Wow,
Pips, and people went crazy for that. Michael Romanowski came.
yeah,
Michael's the man who wins the Grammy Award almost every year
hmm,
for
yeah,
immersive
yeah, it's
audio.
amazing.
And last year was a special year, and I brought my friend George Massenberg, Leslie Ann Jones, Rafa Sardina, Michael Romanowski again, Joe Baldridge, some wonderful people from all different companies. And it was just a fabulous, fabulous time. Uh, this year, I'm doing a really special thing. I'm bringing Ken Calais. Ken Calais is
Yeah,
coming down from Los Angeles. Ken is bringing his multi-tracks for Fleetwood
Fleetwood Mac.
Mac.
Yeah,
Oh my God, it's crazy. If you're in Mexico, bring your Fleetwood Mac records, and maybe Ken
yeah,
will autograph them for you.
of course.
But I've seen this presentation that he's done before at other places, and it is just fabulous. And to hear what these multi-tracks sounded like before before they became a record is
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah, that's
fabulous.
amazing.
Um, so Ken will be down there. Michael Romanowski will be down there. Morton Lindbergh will be down there.
Martin Lindbergh, yeah.
Rafa Sardina. Some incredible educators. And what we're doing, which is different this time, is the day before, on Saturday, March 29th,
Yeah,
uh, from the morning until later in the evening, we are doing this event called the Pan American Audio Educators
Educators
Conference. The Pan American Audio Educators Conference. I would tell you to sign up to be there, but we have already sold out.
sold out.
And it is really fabulous. It's going to be about 150, maybe more,
Maybe more.
professors, along with developers from different companies. We have some amazing sponsors who will be there, and we're going to talk about some incredible things, some incredible ideas. Some of the topics include, we're going to talk about critical listening for audio educators.
Yeah.
How are educators teaching critical listening? This is something that
Mm-hmm.
I think people have different ideas, and we're going to talk about that. And we're lucky to have, Ken Calais and Morton Lindbergh and Michael Romanowski and just some incredible professors with some great pedagogies for this. So we're going to talk about this.
That's
This is a
amazing.
great opportunity for professors to come up from places like Argentina and Uruguay and Ecuador and Peru
Colombia.
and Colombia.
Yeah, of course.
And it's an opportunity for professors to come down from Montreal and Toronto and Boston and New York and Indiana and Nashville, and lots of professors from Mexico. And we are going to, together with some of our friends who are industry developers from different companies, we're going to talk about some issues that are really important in education. Like I said, we're going to talk about curricular ideas for critical listening. How are we teaching critical listening to our students? And I think we're going to have some great minds and try to get as many ideas
Yeah.
as we possibly can. We're going to talk about how are educators implementing immersive audio curriculums and pedagogies.
Wow, that's great.
It's one thing to talk about, specifically how we do immersive audio, but the issues for educators are a little bit different. We have to build facilities. We have to come up with curriculums.
Yeah.
We have to figure out how we can best train our students for the jobs that maybe don't exist yet in immersive audio.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. John, could you please move your microphone a little bit closer to your mouth? I'm getting the signal a little bit low. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Is that better? Okay.
Way better. Thank.
Some other things that we're going to talk about, some cultural issues. Are students in La Paz, Bolivia going through the
Cultural
same
issues,
things
yeah.
that students in Toronto are going through,
Yeah.
or in Boston? And what are some of the strategies that educators have for helping navigate some of the stresses and pressures coming out of COVID and dealing with social media and difficult economies and
Yeah.
those sort of things? We're going to talk about some other topics like live sound.
Live
Are
sound.
we
Right.
preparing students for careers in live sound that are sustainable? My worry is that we're sending kids off, graduates of our programs, to work in a bar, in a pub, mixing 3 bands and not making that much money.
No, not even.
And
No,
there are some really incredible careers that could be had And so I think if we work in tandem with some of the bigger live sound companies,
Mm-hmm.
I think that we'll have better outcomes for our students. So I think that would be good. Another important thing, Josh Rogosin, a
Josh
mutual friend
Rogosin.
of both of ours. I
Wow,
know
my
he's been on
friend.
your show.
Yeah.
Josh has really revolutionized audio. He's the man who recorded over 800
Tiny
Tiny
desk.
Desk
Yeah.
concerts. And I think that it's something that maybe educators should consider
Mm-hmm.
in terms of how we formulate our curriculums. Should we only be teaching in front of a console, or should we maybe um, teach students to do this kind of live streaming broadcast?
That's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think we're going to have Josh talking. Josh has been, until recently, he had been recording the Tiny Desk concerts. When Josh does a talk somewhere, he's surrounded by 100 people,
A lot of
and
people.
they all want to know, how did you make it sound so great?
Uh-huh.
So I think it'll be interesting to have Josh there. Josh is doing a presentation at the much larger event, the Soundcheck Expo,
Yeah.
but we're going to have him talking to us. And, I think it would be great. I know that we talked to students today in
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bogota,
Today.
and the students were very interested in having Josh come down and
A
speak
lot.
to
Yeah.
them.
They were so happy that you mentioned him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one other thing, I'm here in Bogota because we're working on an archiving and restoration project, and I think we're going to talk a little bit about building a curriculum for audio archiving and restoration.
Wow.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that another topic and another that something that I'm thinking a lot of times when the students they are studying, they graduate, and what is going to happen next.
Sure.
So that's very
Well,
important.
I think that it's important that we reflect the needs of our industry,
Mm-hmm.
and that students are able to get jobs coming out of academic programs. This is why many good academic audio technology programs will meet with advisory boards, people who hire the students, and just make sure
Yes.
that we're reflecting what's actually happening in the industry.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Hey, David, and you have a beautiful video of the conference. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, I can. So, the Pan American Audio Educators Conference is taking place from March 29 to the 31st at Mexico City at the World Trade Center. It's gonna be run currently with Soundcheck Expo, so you can actually go to both events. You're gonna meet educators, developers, thought leaders. Amazing people is going to be there. This is the schedule. You can check it out. You just have to arrive to Benito Juarez Airport. A huge shout out to the sponsors as well. This is a few of our sponsors. And well, we're gonna be talking about a lot of topics like AI, archiving, restoration, as John was talking about. So it's gonna be a huge event. Hope to see you all there.
That's great. Thank you. Yeah, artificial intelligence and machine learning in audio education is a very important topic. And
Yeah.
I'm so proud of the fact that Professor Jonathan Weiner from the Berklee College of Music, who does a lot of consulting in this
Mm-hmm.
area,
Yes.
is going to be leading our discussion and eliciting a lot of response. I know that Miguel Resendez
Dream
from our friends at Dream Tonics is
Yeah.
flying in from Japan
From
to be
Japan.
with us and to talk with us about that.
And Daniel?
And Daniel Spirovsky is coming in
Australia.
from Australia,
Wow.
exactly. And so we're very excited, to have a really great discussion. The goal is really not to just have a few people speak to a lot of people, but really have as many people exchanging ideas as possible. And I think it's going to be great, just knowing a lot of the educators who will be there, a lot of the people from different companies. I can tell you that we are going to have great conversations that will continue uh, as we go eat lunch and go eat dinner and
Yeah.
have drinks and
Eat
just
tacos.
have a great eat tacos and just have a great time. Yeah.
And David, can you tell us which are the brands that are the sponsors of the Pan American Audio Educators Conference?
Yes, I can. So this is the webpage, actually, and here we have our sponsors. We have Audio Movers, Genelec, OX Sound, Solid State Logic, and Neumann, Telefunken, Dreamtonics, Better Makers, and Heiser. Ribbon Mics, ADK, Harrison, SAE, MAP, Audiogate, Tech de Monterrey, Apogee, Eventide, EQ Trainer, and Delta Records as
And
well.
Sony.
And Sony.
We're very excited. So we've got, what's great about this is that uh, the developers from these different companies, I think that they have something very important to add. And so having these conversations just among educators, I think we would be missing something.
Yeah.
But we have some great friends who are creating some really amazing technologies. And if we can work together with them, I think it's really for the betterment of all students, of education.
That's great. I have a question for you, John. And we promise that this will be 30 minutes. But just a last question. And I don't know if there are questions, David, but my question is, what is your advice for the young people who are studying audio and music production?
Well, that's a great question. I think what I've learned uh, is the most important characteristic. The thing that will help you out the most is not your expertise, but your curiosity. So just keep asking questions, just keep meeting people, just keep uh, becoming part of communities, join the Audio Engineering Society, uh, sit in the front row of your classes, go to events. I will say that, I have some people know me because I have a Facebook group called Hey Audio Student.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people aren't on Facebook anymore, but I will tell you we have 192,000 active members. In the last 3 days, we had more than 5 million people who viewed the group. And Hey Audio Student Facebook group, it's, I try to chronicle the events and opportunities that are available to students really of all ages and levels, and let people know that there's an event in Mexico and there's an event in California and there's an event in Colombia, and you should be part of it. You should be part of the community. So I'd say be curious.
Yeah, be curious. Thank you, John.
Thank
It
you.
has been an amazing time with you. Thank you, David.
Thank you, David.
You're welcome. We actually have some greetings. We have greetings from Natalie Castro. Hello, my friends. Always happy to be here at Julio's Lives. Cheers to John Krivit. What you do for the industry is priceless. We also have greetings from Jairo Andrés Buitrago, and Jorge Mario Valencia is connecting as well. A lot of people through Instagram as well saying hi to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great to see you. It's been wonderful to be in Bogota and Medellin this past week.
Yeah. How was the trip? You liked
The
this
best,
week?
the best. Thank you for all of your great hospitality and all of the people who came to see us speak, and the different schools that hosted us. Absolutely fabulous.
No, thank you. Well, and this episode it's going to be a podcast. Can you tell us more about it, Sig?
It is going to be a podcast. You will be able to find this live stream on all streaming platforms, the platform which you prefer to listen to podcasts. It could be Spotify or Apple Podcasts. You just search Producing with Julio Monroy, and you will be able to find this episode and all other episodes as well.
Thank you, David. I want to thank you, your for
Thank
being
you.
here, but this is amazing.
Well,
It's
thanks
like
for being such a great friend.
okay, no, thanks to you.
Uh,
John is my godfather.
ah,
Like oh, yeah, and yeah, we will be in Mexico in two
that's
weeks,
right.
so it's going
That's
to
right.
be great. And thank you, David, for everything.
Yeah. Thank you, David.
It's my honor to be here. Thank you, John, for taking the time to have this little space with us. Can't wait to be at Mexico. I'm sure it's going to be a huge event, and it's really, really, really important. Thank you for what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and we all appreciate you and thank you for the things that you have done and the person that you are. So thank you a lot, and thank you a lot, Julio, again for creating these spaces. Thank you for the people that connected with us. This is a shorter episode, but well, we'll be back. So I'll let you with Julio so he can tell you all the information.
Okay, thank you everyone for being here with us. And remember, it's going to be a great event. And this Sunday, we are going to release a video with Adam Mosley talking about how he recorded The Cure. So don't miss it. Hi, bye.